There comes a moment in life when you have to make a choice. Not just any choice, but a decision that will shift the course of your future. A decision that might not make sense to others. A decision that might cause people to whisper, to doubt, to criticize. And in that moment, the enemy will try to fill your mind with fear, with guilt, with second guessing. But hear me when I say this. Don't you dare be a shaheed of it. You did what you had to do. You prayed, you wrestled, you cried, and you took a step of faith. And let me tell you, God does not lead you into a decision just to leave you in regret. Too many people are walking around carrying the weight of past choices, letting shame rob them of their confidence. But today, we are breaking that chain. Today, you will walk in boldness, in faith, in assurance that every decision, good, bad, or uncertain, is part of your journey, and nothing is wasted in God's hands. So straighten your back, lift your head, and get ready, because today we're stepping into freedom, confidence, and unapologetic faith. Never be a SHAMED of your decision. Your decisions are the building blocks of your destiny. Every choice you make, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, is setting the course for where your life is headed. Some decisions are easy, things that come naturally, choices that feel comfortable, paths that are well led and well trodden. But then there are those decisions that demand more from you, the ones that pull you out of your comfort zone, that require sacrifice, that force you to walk by faith and not by sight. You see, destiny is not something that just happens to you. It is something you create step by step, decision by decision. It's easy to look at successful people and assume they just stumbled into greatness. But if you pull back the curtain, you will see that behind every breakthrough was a decision. A decision to keep going when everything in them wanted to quit. A decision to believe in themselves when nobody else did. A decision to take a risk, to step into the unknown, to trust that what they carried inside of them was greater than the fear that tried to hold them back. But here's the reality. Every decision comes with opposition. The moment you decide to step into something greater, expect resistance. The moment you choose to break cycles, to change directions, to rise above, expect criticism. Some people won't understand why you made the choice you did. They will question you, doubt you, try to make you feel like you should have done it differently. But here's the truth. They are not the ones who have to live with the consequences of your choices. They are not the ones walking in your shoes, fighting your battles, carrying your dreams. And that's why you cannot afford to be passive about your decisions. You cannot afford to let fear or the opinions of others dictate the choices you make. Because whether you realize it or not, every single decision is shaping the direction of your life, the job you take or leave, the relationships you hold on to or walk away from, the habits you build, the opportunities you pursue, the things you say yes or no to. All of it is pushing you toward your destiny or pulling you away from it. Too many people are stuck in life not because they lack talent, not because they lack intelligence, but because they refuse to make decisions. They wait for a sign, for a guarantee, for absolute certainty before they move, and as a result, they stay stagnant. They never step out, they never try, they never build, they never grow. But destiny is not found in hesitation. It is not found in waiting for everything to be perfect. Destiny is found in action. It is found in making bold decisions, even when you don't have all the answers, even when the road ahead is unclear. And let me tell you something else. Mistakes are inevitable. Not every decision will turn out the way you planned. Not every choice will lead to immediate success. But that does not mean the decision was wrong. Sometimes what looks like a setback is actually a setup. Sometimes what feels like failure is actually redirection. The only real mistake is refusing to decide at all. Because when you refuse to decide, you give control of your own destiny. You allow life to happen to you instead of taking charge of where you are going. Your decisions are shaping your future, whether you realize it or not. Every single day you are making choices that are determining where you will be 5, 10, 20 years from now. And the question is, are you making decisions that align with the destiny God has for you? Are you making decisions based on faith, on wisdom, on purpose? Or are you allowing fear, doubt, and the opinions of others to make your choices for you? People will always have something to say about the choices you make. No matter what path you take, no matter how much thought, prayer, or preparation goes into your decision, there will always be voices, some loud, some subtle, offering their opinions, their criticisms, their judgments. And the reality is, many of these people are not speaking from a place of wisdom, experience, or understanding. They are speaking from their own limited perspective, from their own fears, from their own inability to step into something greater themselves. Judgment is something you cannot escape. It comes from family, from friends, from coworkers, from society, and sometimes even from within yourself. The moment you make a decision that goes against the grain, that challenges the status quo, that takes you in a direction others don't expect, people will begin to talk. They will question your motives. They will assume they know better. They will try to make you feel like you should have chosen differently. And if you're not careful, you will start second-guessing yourself, doubting your own choices, wondering if you should have done things their way instead of following what you knew in your heart was right. But here's what you must understand. Your purpose is personal. It was not given to them. It was not assigned to them. It was not placed in their heart. It was given to you. And because it is personal, they don't have to understand it. They don't have to see what you see. They don't have to believe in it, support it, or even agree with it. What matters is that you understand it, that you recognize that the calling on your life, the purpose you are walking in, the decisions you are making are not for them. They are for you, for your future, for your destiny. Too often, people allow the opinions of others to dictate their decisions. They let the fear of judgment keep them trapped in places they were never meant to stay. They hold back from stepping out, from taking risks, from pursuing what is in their heart, all because they are worried about what others will think. They shrink themselves down. They silence their own voice. They bury their dreams just to avoid criticism, just to avoid standing out, just to keep the approval of people who do not have to live their life. But here is the truth. People will judge you no matter what you do. If you play it safe, they will say you're not ambitious enough. If you take a risk, they will say you're reckless. If you walk away from something toxic, they will say you gave up too soon. If you stay, they will say you are foolish for holding on. No matter which way you turn, there will always be someone with an opinion, someone who thinks they know what's best for you, someone who will try to make you feel small for choosing the path you know is right. And this is why you cannot live your life trying to please people. You cannot make your decisions based on what will keep you in the good graces of those who do not understand the weight of your calling. Because at the end of the day, they will move on with their lives. They will forget the opinions they so loudly voiced. But you will be the one left dealing with the consequences of the choices you made to satisfy them. Your purpose is not up for debate. It is not something that needs validation from the crowd. It is not something that can be explained to those who were never meant to carry what you carry. Some people will never understand why you made the choice you did because they do not have the vision God gave you. They do not see the battles you have fought, the prayers you have prayed, the weight you have carried. They don't know what it took for you to make the decision you did. And that is why their judgment should not be the standard by which you measure your choices. There will always be critics. There will always be doubters. There will always be those who think they know better, but their judgment does not change the fact that your purpose is yours and yours alone. It was designed specifically for you with all your experiences, your strengths, your weaknesses, your journey, and because it is uniquely yours, no one else has the right to determine what decisions you should make in pursuit of it. Some of the most powerful history-making people were ridiculed for their decisions. They were mocked, doubted, cast aside because their choices did not align with what was expected of them. They chose to walk a path that others could not see, to pursue something greater, to step into a purpose that was bigger than themselves. And at the time, they were judged for it. But looking back, we see that their purpose was never meant to be understood by everyone. It was meant to be fulfilled by them alone. Faith and fear are two forces constantly warring within us. One is pulling us forward, urging us to step out, to trust, to believe that something greater is waiting ahead. The other is pulling us back, whispering doubt, magnifying the unknown, trying to convince us that where we are is safer than where we are called to go. And the truth is, both faith and fear require belief in something that hasn't happened yet. Fear believes in failure, in disaster, in worst-case scenarios. Faith believes in possibility, in purpose, in the unseen hand of God guiding each step. The question is, which one will you give more power to? Fear is loud. It speaks in the voice of past disappointments, in the echoes of failures, in the warnings of those who never had the courage to step out themselves. It will remind you of every time something didn't go the way you planned, of every moment you felt inadequate, of every reason why you should just stay where you are. Fear doesn't need facts. It just needs a foothold. It will take the smallest doubt and stretch it into a full-blown panic. It will take a single what if and turn it into an entire narrative that keeps you stuck, afraid, and unwilling to move. Faith, on the other hand, is often quieter. It does not demand attention the way fear does. It does not force itself into your thoughts with worry, anxiety, and dread. Faith whispers, it nudges, it reassures. It tells you that even if you don't have all the answers, even if the road ahead is unclear, even if everything in you is afraid, you can still move forward. Faith does not promise that the path will be easy, but it promises that you will not walk alone. It tells you that even if you fall, you will not be forsaken. Even if you struggle, you will not be abandoned. Even if you don't see the outcome yet, the one who called you has already prepared the way. But here's the thing, faith is not just a feeling. It is not just an emotion that comes and goes. Faith is a decision. It is a commitment to trust, even when there is no proof. It is a mindset that says, I will not let my fear be greater than my belief in what is possible. It is choosing to move, to act, to step out, even when everything in you wants to turn back. And sometimes faith is not even about confidence, it's about obedience. It's about saying, I don't have all the answers. I don't know what's ahead. I don't feel ready, but I will still take the next step because I trust the one who is leading me. Fear will always try to disguise itself as wisdom. It will tell you that you are just being cautious, that you are just being realistic, that you are just protecting yourself from disappointment. But what it's really doing is keeping you from stepping into the fullness of what you were meant to be. It will have you overthinking, analyzing, questioning every move until you are paralyzed by indecision. It will make you believe that the risk is too great, that the price is too high, that the possibility of failure is too overwhelming. But what fear doesn't tell you is that not stepping out is a risk too. Staying in the same place, letting opportunities pass you by, allowing life to move forward without you, that is a risk you cannot afford to take. Faith is what has carried people through the impossible. It is what has pushed dreamers to build, leaders to rise, pioneers to step into unknown territory. Faith is what allows someone to walk into a room full of uncertainty and still believe that something great is about to happen. Faith is what lets you move forward even when the resources aren't there, even when the odds are against you, even when every logical reason says you should give up. Because faith does not operate in the realm of logic. It operates in the realm of truth. And the truth is, what you are called to do, what you are meant to step into, what you have been preparing for is possible, but only if you don't let fear stop you. Fear will always be present. It does not go away just because you decide to move forward. But the difference between those who fulfill their purpose and those who don't is that the ones who fulfill it move forward anyway. They don't wait for the fear to disappear. They don't wait for everything to feel easy. They don't wait for absolute certainty. They step out even with trembling hands and a racing heart. They step out even with doubts trying to creep in. They step out not because fear is absent, but because they have chosen to make faith louder. Some of the greatest breakthroughs happen not in moments of complete confidence, but in moments of courage. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is moving forward in spite of it. It is looking at every reason why you should stay back, why you should quit, why you should shrink down, and deciding that you will go forward anyway. It is choosing to believe that what is ahead is greater than what you are leaving behind. It is making a conscious decision to trust that the step you take today is leading you to something greater tomorrow. Faith requires action. It requires movement. It is not passive. It does not wait for perfect conditions. It does not hesitate because of the unknown. It goes forth with the understanding that even if you don't have the full picture, even if you don't have all the details, you have enough to take the next step. Faith does not need certainty. It only needs willingness. A willingness to try, to trust, to step beyond the limitations of fear and into the realm of possibility. And the truth is, the more you operate in faith, the quieter fear becomes. The more you step out, the less control fear has over you, because every step of faith proves that fear was a liar. Every act of courage reveals that fear was only an illusion, a shadow designed to keep you from walking in your purpose. And once you have seen that fear has no real power over you, once you have experienced what happens when you step out in faith, you begin to walk differently. You begin to think differently. You begin to move with a confidence that is not rooted in what you see, but in what you know. And what you know is that faith, when acted upon, will always take you further than fear ever could. Mistakes are inevitable. No matter how carefully you plan, no matter how much wisdom you seek, no matter how many precautions you take, at some point you will make a wrong turn. You will take a step that doesn't go as expected. You will invest in something that doesn't produce the results you hoped for. You will say the wrong thing, trust the wrong person, make a choice that you later wish you could redo. But what you must understand is that mistakes are not the end. They are part of the process. The world will try to convince you that mistakes define you, that they are a reflection of your worth, that they disqualify you from purpose. But the truth is, mistakes are a sign that you are moving, that you are trying, that you are stepping out instead of staying stagnant. The only people who never make mistakes are the ones who never do anything. They sit on the sidelines, paralyzed by fear, afraid to take risks, afraid to fail, afraid of what others might think. But those who accomplish great things in life are the ones who refuse to let mistakes stop them. They learn, they grow, they adjust, and they keep moving forward. Too often, people allow mistakes to become chains around their minds. They replay them over and over, letting guilt and shame consume them. They start to believe that because they messed up once, they will always mess up. They let one bad decision convince them that they are incapable of making good ones. They let one season of failure define their entire journey. But what they don't realize is that mistakes are not meant to break you. They are meant to build you. They are meant to teach you, to stretch you, to refine you, to equip you for what is coming next. Some of the most successful people in history made massive mistakes before they ever achieved greatness. They failed over and over. They made bad investments. They lost everything. They faced rejection after rejection, But instead of letting those mistakes bury them, they use them as stepping stones. They learned what didn't work so they could get closer to what did work. They developed resilience. They gained wisdom. They discovered strengths they never knew they had. But here's the problem. Most people don't give themselves permission to fail. They expect perfection. They hold themselves to an impossible standard, believing that if they make even one mistake, it means they are not good enough, not worthy, not capable. And because of this, they hesitate, they overthink. They avoid making decisions altogether because they are so afraid of getting it wrong. But avoiding mistakes does not lead to success. It leads to regret. Because at the end of the day, it is far better to try and fail than to never try at all. Every mistake carries a lesson. Every wrong turn holds wisdom. Every misstep is an opportunity to grow. The key is to not let those mistakes define you, but to let them refine you. To ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this make me better? What will I do differently next time? Because the truth is, some of your greatest revelations will come from your greatest mistakes. Some of your most valuable lessons will come from the times you got it wrong. Some of your most powerful testimonies will come from the moments you thought would break you but actually made you stronger. And let's be real, some mistakes are painful. Some choices leave scars. Some decisions take time to recover from. But even in those moments, you are not beyond redemption. You are not beyond restoration. You are not beyond the possibility of turning things around. What the enemy meant for harm, God can still use for good. What looked like a failure can still be transformed into a foundation for something greater. But here's the catch. You have to let go of shame. You have to stop beating yourself up over what you did wrong. You have to stop letting guilt keep you trapped in the past. You have to forgive yourself, because if you don't, you will keep reliving the mistake instead of learning from it. You will keep carrying the weight of something that was never meant to define you. And the longer you hold on to it, the harder it will be to move forward. Some people let one mistake take them out of the race completely. They convince themselves that because they failed once, they should never try again. They give up on dreams, on relationships, on purpose, all because of one bad decision. But failure is not final. A mistake is not the same as defeat. The only time you truly fail is when you refuse to get back up. Because as long as you are still standing, as long as you are still breathing, as long as you are still willing to learn, you are still in the process. And as long as you are in the process, your story is not over. The reality is, mistakes are proof that you are growing. They show that you are stepping outside of your comfort zone, that you are taking risks, that you are pushing yourself towards something greater. Because growth is messy. It is uncomfortable. It comes with trial and error, with setbacks and breakthroughs, with moments of confidence and moments of uncertainty. But in the end, every mistake is shaping you into the person you are becoming. Some of the greatest transformations happen in the aftermath of failure. Some of the most powerful lessons come from the moments we wish we could erase. Because when you go through something difficult, when you make a mistake that humbles you, that teaches you, that forces you to reevaluate, you emerge with a new level of wisdom. You gain a new perspective. You discover a strength you didn't know you had, and you realize that the mistake did not destroy you. It developed you. The people who go the farthest in life are not the ones who never fail. They are the ones who refuse to be defined by failure. They are the ones who take responsibility, who learn from their mistakes, who adjust their strategy, who keep pressing forward. They are the ones who understand that a mistake is not a dead end. It is a detour, a lesson, a chapter, not the whole book, a necessary part of the journey toward greatness. You were built for this. Every challenge you've faced, every storm you've endured, every tear you've cried, every battle you've fought, it has all been preparing you for this moment. Nothing you've gone through has been wasted. No pain, no setback, no disappointment, no rejection, no failure has been in vain. Everything has been working together, molding you, stretching you, shaping you, equipping you for what's ahead. Life has a way of making you doubt yourself. Circumstances can push you to the edge, making you wonder if you're strong enough, if you're capable enough, if you're qualified enough to handle what's in front of you. You look around at what you have, what you lack, what you wish you were, and you start to think, maybe I wasn't meant for this. Maybe I don't have what it takes. Maybe I'm not the right person for this assignment. But let me tell you something. You were built for this. You were not placed here by accident. You were not given these gifts, these ideas, these visions, these dreams just to let them sit dormant inside of you. You were not positioned where you are for no reason. Every struggle, every lesson, every season of hardship has been conditioning you, preparing you, strengthening you for what's ahead. You didn't just stumble into this season. You were designed for it. You were created for it. You were chosen for it. Think about everything you've already overcome. Think about the moments you thought you wouldn't make it through, the nights you cried yourself to sleep, the days you felt like giving up, but you didn't. You are still here. You are still standing. You are still pressing forward. That alone is proof that you were built for this. Because if the things that were meant to break you couldn't take you out, that means there is a resilience inside of you that cannot be denied. There is a strength inside of you that cannot be overlooked. Too often, people disqualify themselves before they even begin. They look at their flaws, their past, their weaknesses, their mistakes, and they convince themselves that they are not the right person for the task ahead. But God does not make mistakes. He does not call the equipped. He equips the called. He does not place a purpose inside of you without giving you the strength to fulfill it. You may not feel ready. You may not feel prepared, but you were built for this. You have everything you need already inside of you. Every great leader, every successful person, every world changer has faced moments of doubt. They have all questioned whether they were good enough, whether they could handle the weight of what was in front of them. But the difference between those who fulfill their purpose and those who don't is that the ones who fulfill it refuse to let doubt win. They refuse to let fear dictate their future. They refuse to let the voice of insecurity talk them out of their destiny. Because they know deep down that they were built for this. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to know exactly how things will work out. You just have to trust that the same power that brought you through past struggles will carry you through this one. The same resilience that got you here will sustain you. The same determination that kept you going before will keep you going now. Look at how far you've come. Look at the doors that have opened for you, the battles you have already won, the obstacles you have already overcome. Look at the strength you have gained, the wisdom you have acquired, the endurance you have developed. All of that was necessary. All of that was preparation, because you were not built to break. You were not built to fold under pressure. You were not built to give up when things get tough. You were built to rise. You were built to endure. You were built to overcome. There is nothing in front of you that is greater than what is inside of you. The challenges you are facing are not a sign that you are in the wrong place. They are a sign that you are stepping into something greater. Growth is uncomfortable. Transition is painful. But just because it's hard doesn't mean you weren't meant to do it. Just because it's stretching you doesn't mean you're not equipped. Just because it feels overwhelming doesn't mean you're not equipped. You were built for this. Every scar, every wound, every heartbreak, every hardship has made you stronger. You may not see it yet, but the very things that you thought would destroy you have actually developed you. The very seasons that made you question your purpose were actually preparing you for it. The very pain that tried to stop you was actually shaping you into the person you needed to become. There will be moments where you feel like you're not enough. There will be days where doubt creeps in, where fear tries to take over, where the weight of responsibility feels too heavy to bear. But in those moments, remind yourself of everything you've already survived. Remind yourself that you didn't come this far just to come this far. Remind yourself that if you were not strong enough for this, you wouldn't be here. If you weren't meant for this, you wouldn't have made it this far. So stop second-guessing yourself. Stop looking at your situation through the lens of fear and start seeing it through the lens of faith. Stop focusing on what you don't have and start recognizing what you do have. Because you are stronger than you think, you are wiser than you know, you are more capable than you realize. You are built for this. Regret is one of the most dangerous traps you can fall into. It is subtle, deceptive, and relentless. It creeps into your mind and whispers, if only you had done things differently. If only you had made a better choice. If only you could go back and change the past. Regret will have you replaying old decisions, analyzing every detail, obsessing over what went wrong, and questioning whether your life could have been better if you had just made a different choice. But let me tell you something, regret is a trap. It is designed to keep you stuck, to keep you looking backward instead of forward, to keep you bound to what was instead of walking into what could be. Regret will rob you of your joy. It will strip you of your confidence. It will convince you that you are unworthy of redemption, that you have made too many mistakes to recover, that your best days are behind you. But that is a lie. Regret wants to hold you hostage to a past that you can't change. But you were never meant to live in reverse. You were never meant to spend your days looking back at what could have been. You were meant to move forward. You were meant to grow. You were meant to evolve, to rise, to learn from your past, not to be enslaved by it. Every person has things they wish they had done differently. Every person has made decisions that didn't turn out the way they hoped. Every person has moments where they look back and think, I should have known better. I should have seen it coming. I should have made a different choice. But sitting in regret will not change the past. Replaying your mistakes over and over will not rewrite history. Wishing things had gone differently will not make them different. All it does is keep you trapped in a cycle of disappointment, frustration, and guilt. The enemy wants to use regret to paralyze you. He wants to keep you so focused on what you lost that you don't see what's still ahead of you. He wants to keep you so consumed with guilt that you don't recognize the grace that is still available to you. He wants to keep you so tied to your past that you don't step into your future. But you have to break free from that mindset. You have to make up your mind that you will not let regret hold you hostage. Because you still have a future. You still have a purpose. You still have time to move forward. Some people waste years of their lives sitting in regret. They allow one bad decision, one mistake, one failure to define the rest of their journey. They convince themselves that because they messed up, they can never recover. That because they took a wrong turn, they will never reach their destination. But that is not true. A wrong turn does not mean you are lost forever. A failure does not mean you are finished. A setback does not mean your story is over. You have to let go of the should-haves and the could-haves. You have to stop reliving the past as if you can change it. You have to stop punishing yourself for things that cannot be undone. The only thing you can control is what you do now. The only power you have is over the decisions you make today. You can either keep looking backward, dwelling on what went wrong, or you can take hold of your future and start moving forward. Regret will make you blind to opportunity. It will make you miss the open doors in front of you because you are too focused on the ones that closed. It will make you ignore the lessons you've learned because you are too consumed with the pain of your mistakes. It will make you doubt yourself, keep you in fear, make you hesitant to take new risks because you are so afraid of getting it wrong again. But hear me when I say you cannot allow regret to stop you from living. You cannot allow your past to rob you of your future. Every person who has ever achieved something great has made mistakes along the way. They have made poor choices. They have taken risks that didn't pay off. They have walked through seasons of failure and disappointment. But what separates them from everyone else is that they refuse to stay stuck in regret. They learned from their mistakes. They adjusted their strategy. They picked themselves up and kept moving forward. You have to do the same. You have to make the decision that you will not let your past define you. You have to refuse to let regret keep you bound. You have to shift your perspective and realize that even the worst decisions, even the biggest failures, even the hardest moments have the potential to shape you into something greater. Sometimes the very things you regret the most are the things that taught you the most. Sometimes the pain of your past is what fuels the purpose of your future. Sometimes the biggest mistakes are the things that build your character, strengthen your faith, and give you the wisdom you need for what's ahead. But you will never see the beauty in your journey if you keep looking back in disappointment. Let me ask you this. What if everything you've been through was necessary? What if even the mistakes were part of the plan? What if every wrong turn, every bad decision, every failed attempt was actually leading you to where you were meant to be? Would you still waste time regretting it? Or would you finally let it go and move forward with confidence, knowing that nothing was wasted, nothing was in vain, and everything was working together for your good? Regret is a trap, but you don't have to fall into it. You don't have to let it consume you. You don't have to carry it with you any longer. You can make the decision today to leave the past where it belongs and step into the future with boldness. You can decide right now that you will not let guilt and shame hold you back from the life that is still waiting for you. Because your future is still ahead of you. Your destiny is still unfolding. Your best days are not behind you. They are in front of you. But you will never walk into them if you keep looking over your shoulder. You will never see the new thing that is coming if you keep grieving over what is already past. You will never experience the fullness of life if you stay trapped in the pain of yesterday. So choose to move forward. Choose to release the past. Choose to believe that you still have something to offer, that you still have time to make a difference, that you are still worthy of a fresh start, because no matter what happened before, no matter what you wish you could change, no matter how much time you think you lost, your story is not over yet. You have come too far, fought too hard, and endured too much to let shame have the final say in your story. The decisions you made, the ones that were right, the ones that were wrong, the ones that led to success, the ones that led to lessons, they all played a role in shaping you into the person you are today. You don't have to be ashamed of them. You don't have to carry the weight of regret, the burden of guilt, or the fear of judgment. Stand firm in what you chose, because even in your missteps, there was purpose. Even in your struggles, there was growth. Even in your uncertainty, there was faith. People will always have opinions. They will always talk, always criticize, always have something to say about the choices you've made. But they were not there when you prayed for guidance. They were not there when you wrestled with doubt. They were not there when you weighed the risks, counted the costs, and made the decision you felt was best for you. They were not called to walk your path. You were. So stop seeking validation from those who were never meant to understand your journey. Stop apologizing for doing what you had to do to move forward. Stop looking back with shame when your future is calling you forward with purpose. Yes, some decisions may have come with pain. Some choices may have led to struggle. Some moments may have tested your faith in ways you never expected. But every step, every turn, every road you took, whether smooth or rough, was necessary. It was all part of the process. And you cannot live in shame over a past that was simply preparing you for your future. Walk boldly, stand confidently, hold your head up high, own your decisions, embrace your journey, and trust that every move you've made, whether it felt right or wrong at the time, was leading you towards something greater. There is no shame in growing. There is no shame in evolving. There is no shame in choosing to live, to learn, and to move forward with faith. You are not defined by your past. You are not imprisoned by your mistakes. You are walking in purpose. You are walking in strength. You are walking in power. So never be ashamed of your decision, because every choice, every experience, every season has been working together for your good. Your story is still being written, your purpose is still unfolding, and your best days are still ahead. Keep moving forward, keep believing, keep trusting, and never, ever let shame hold you back.